have a strategic game plan to take you to the next level in your investment, in your business, and in your life. I'm going to ask the question again. Do you have a strategic plan that will take you to the next level of your business, of your investing, and of your life? Without continuous improvement, you either remain the same or you shrink and then eventually die. Welcome viewers to the 16th episode of the Property Investors Network, a show where we learn and discuss about investing in property in Africa in 10 minutes or so. This is your host, Taka. Thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you so much for sharing the other episode and liking the episode. I appreciate your following, your viewing. I've been receiving a lot of feedback recently from people who are watching the shows, and I managed to speak to a couple of guys who are watching these shows and getting their feedback. Thank you so much for your support. Today's episode is called The Business of Property. What we are going to do today and the next episode, we're going to go back to the 3 previous episodes and pull out specific topics that we're going to zero on and discuss those topics. For today, we are going to discuss doing property as a business. So we are going to look at that and look and see how you can improve your investment in property. And also at the end of the show, I'm going to answer the question, why is Botswana a successful country compared to the rest of Africa? So enjoy the show. First, let's look at managing your property as a business. Okay. I've met a couple of guys who are doing property, and from their experience, I started to pick some trends in the way people do property investment, why they are not breaking forward to the next level. There is the term that we see that is common. It's called hustle. Everyone say, I'm hustling. I went on to look, deeper into this word hustling. Should you hustle when you do property investment or you're in property business? Should you use the word hustling? To hustle is to push hard, is to do something for money, and it's usually now. You want the money now. Now, when it comes to property investment, you don't hustle. Property investment is a long-term thing. It's strategy. It's planning. It's not hustle. It's not money now. It's not pushing harder, but it's doing things smarter. So, as you do your property, as you do your investment, do it in a business way. Don't hustle. Hustle is about pushing each day, pushing and doing things that you may not do just to get money. In property, no. You don't just do things just to get money. You do things according to the plan with a long-term objective, and then you go for it in a smart way. Also, when you do property investment, be aware of the temptation to do what I call the homeboy business. Especially if you're from the township, how you do business, you just put your friends in, are you out? When you do property or when you do things in a business formal way, it's not about homeboy business. It's not about, because I know this guy, he has to be in. It's about the bottom line. In business, it's about the bottom line. Your plan, your strategy, your goal, what do you want to achieve? If your friend does not improve the bottom line, you can't include him in the business. So you partner with people who help reach your goal, who help meet the bottom line. That's why we mentioned in the previous episode that you need a plan, you need to do the numbers. So you're chasing for the bottom line, the figures, that's what you're chasing. So you don't put anyone for the sake because he's your friend. You don't rent out. Please be aware. I respect our relatives, our friends. We are in Africa. But remember, don't give your aunt to rent your place just because you're an aunt. What about if he doesn't pay your rent? What's going to happen? I've seen many guys who buy a property, buy the second one, and then, oh, my aunt, my brother doesn't have anywhere to stay. Let me just put him in and rent from me. You know, it's within the family. It sounds sweet. It sounds nice, but it's a bad decision most of the time, because the brother that you are putting in is not a good tenant. Actually, it's not a good business relationship. So what the brother is going to do, he's not going to pay you the rent, and you are going to pay the bank for the money that you borrow, and that's bad for business. That's not professionalism. I'm not saying don't rent out to your relatives and friends, but when you do it, remember it's business, and keep it business. Treat him the way you treat any tenant, not like he's your relative, so you've got to be easy with him. If he doesn't pay rent, it doesn't. If you are doing like that, your portfolio, your investment portfolio, it's not going to grow. But if you want to grow, avoid people like relatives and friends, people who have got a soft spot, people who you cannot evict from the house. Because when someone is not paying, you've got to evict him. If it's your aunt, are you going to evict your aunt if it's not paying? It's going to be difficult, because the rest of the family are going to say, why are you chasing our aunt from your house? And all those things are going to follow. So be careful when you do business with friends and relatives. In Africa, we've got a tendency to do, I call it, we weaken the weak and strengthen the strong. In other words, in Africa, we've got a tendency of trying to empower those who cannot be empowered. In other words, you've got this relative of yours is battling with paying rent. Then we think if that person rent from you, it's going to improve. No, it's going to be not improve. So what I'm saying is that if someone is failing, taking over to rent from you will not make that person pay you. In actual, that person must rent from someone who he doesn't know, so that he can pay the rent. You want to empower him. So by letting him go, you are not empowering at all. At the end, the person will not benefit and you will not benefit. Also, just to add on today, it's very informal. I'm going to talk about what's coming in my head. The other issue is that, we've got big families, extended families. And, with our family, we've got these jail beds. I know in every family you always find a jail bed, someone who's been in prison, out of prison, all this history, and that person, you've got your rental business, and then you hand over your good business to that person. That can be a very poor decision, because this person is not reliable. I'm telling you, he's going to bankrupt you. So be aware the way you do business. Do it in a professional way. Do it with your bottom line figure, your goals and objectives. Keep those, focus on your goals, focus on objectives. Be aware of those bad influence from those around you who want to come into your business and bankrupt you. And then the other thing I want to also to mention is the focus. Under focus, also remember, when you do property, for some of us, it's our life. This is what we do. This is what we know. We've been doing this for years. There's no other alternatives. I don't do Bitcoin. I don't do Forex. I don't do multi-level, whatever, all those. I don't do that. This is what I do. So be aware of this. If you do business, a property business, and you try to do Forex, some of these objectives are different. Because the game plan for property is to have an investment that can retain value for a long period of time. Forex investment, it's quick money and it's easy to lose. That's why if you've looked around for the past 5 or so years, there's been the Bitcoin, there's been Forex trading. There are millionaires that came out of that. But if you look closely, 12 months later, a year later, they are no longer millionaires. They've lost everything. Because these are the type of investment that do not protect the value or keep the value. They are always up and down. Whatever is happening this month, next 6 months from now, you can be broke. I've seen one guy who had a lot of money doing Forex and Bitcoin. He bought some properties. That was 2 years ago, but now he's broke and bankrupt. He sold his property trying to invest in Forex and keep on losing and losing and losing. So be aware. Try to focus. If I'm going to do property, just focus on property and then you succeed. If you try to mix these two, you have to be very clever in the way you mix. Otherwise, you're going to lose your long-term assets for assets that are short-term. So be aware as you do your property business. Because of your time, I'll just go straight into the question. Why is Botswana a successful country compared to the rest of Africa? Well, when I look closer at this, I discover that Botswana's economy is based on diamonds mining. So it's a small country. Diamond is very valuable. So the GDP is obviously higher than most of the rest of Africa. So the country can move on faster, small population and high income. So that makes it move forward faster. Number two, there is large-scale cattle ownership in Botswana. So you find in Botswana, rural folks have got lots of cattle. And lots of cattle is lots of wealth. Unlike in other African countries that are around, you find that in rural is so poor. People don't have anything, any assets. But there in Botswana, in rural areas, you find people with lots of cattle, and that is value which they have. So that makes the country a bit more, in terms of value. It's got more value. Also, number three, Botswana, compared to many African countries, the corruption is very low in Botswana. I'm not saying there is no corruption. There is corruption, but it's very low compared to the rest of Africa. And then number four, there is a strong culture that embraces integrity, modesty, and lack of personal pride. That's got honesty. So Botswana's culture, that's why you say there is less corruption, because it's the culture of honesty, it's culture of integrity. If you look at the political change of leadership, you see it's so easy and seamless. People don't hang on to power for good. People just let go. One guy come, other guys say no, you can become president and give another one. So Botswana, there's a general transparency and integrity in terms of leadership. I'm not saying every Botswana has got integrity, but it's a general pattern in the country. Thank you so much for watching today's show. Next time we'll be looking at your associations in property investment. Who are the people you need next to you as you invest in property? I'm signing off here today. Let's connect. Please comment, please like, share the episodes. Until next time, thank you so much. Have a great day.